Welcome to this 15-minute yoga practice. My name is Holly and I'll be guiding us through today. Let's just go ahead and get started in child's pose for a moment, just to take it down to our mat. So let your big toes touch, open up your knees, and just let your torso fold down, letting your forehead come to rest on the mat, if that feels comfortable for you. Just take a moment to breathe in and breathe out. As we move into this short practice today, I just invite you to focus on a little bit of patience as we embark on our own health journeys with nutrition, with exercise. Sometimes we start to attach a timeline to it. We get in a hurry, we want to see progress. But usually these journeys take time. So today, as we move, cultivating patience with this mantra: I am patient with the process while remaining focused. Let's take a breath in and a nice big sighing breath out. And begin to just lift up into all fours and take a moment to just organize yourself on your mat wherever feels comfortable to you. Bringing your hands underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips. Let's take a few rounds of cat and cow. Dropping the belly, breathing in for cow pose. And exhaling, rounding the spine into cat. And breathe in for cow. And breathe out for cat. Just beginning to sync up the body and the breath connection. And one more time, breathing in for cow, gently pulling the palms towards your knees to press the heart open. And exhale, round the spine, lifting the mid-spine up. And then finding a neutral spine. Tuck the toes under and start to lift your hips towards a downward facing dog. But the legs don't need to straighten. Just maybe start to pedal out the feet and slowly begin to open up and stretch. Really fold through the toe joints and alternate those heel presses. Just open up the hamstrings, the back of the legs, feeling everything begin to breathe and lengthen. Then press those heels down. Inhale high on the toes. We're going to make our way towards plank. So maybe walk the hands forward or the feet back or a little bit of both until you find your plank, and then open up your fingers so you create a really strong foundation for yourself. Maybe move the heels a little bit side to side so you really feel the ball mounds of your feet securing you into the mat, and then press into the mat. Lift your belly up, squeeze into your glutes, your legs, and feel strong here. Feel that heat begin to grow. And then from your tippy toes, just shift yourself forward so the shoulders come forward, and then bend the elbows back. Slowly come all the way down to the mat. And then when you arrive, unfold your feet. So the top of your feet press into the mat, and inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale to release your heart back down. Let's do that again. As you breathe in, think more about length than height here. Squeeze into your legs for your foundation. And then release your chest. Tuck the toes and let's return to high plank just the way we came down. And then hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale high on the toes again. Roll forward into that high plank pose. Lengthen through your neck even. Your shoulders are away from the ears. And just hold here for 4, 3, 2, take a halfway down. Build a shelf with your upper arms and then press up to an upward facing dog. And just hold here for a moment. Giving ourselves kind of the opposite of what we experience a lot in life. Sitting at our desk, rounded forward through our chest. Feel yourself open your chest. Hover those thighs away from the mat, drawing the heels of your hands towards your toes like you're going to crinkle the mat beneath you, and take a breath in. And then downward facing dog. Take a full breath in here. Open your mouth, exhale. Inhale high on the toes. This time, look forward and make your way towards the top of the mat. Let's take a halfway lift. So slide your hands to the front of the legs, making a capital L shape with your body. And then really press your palms into your legs and push your legs into your palms. And so you start to feel everything activate, even though we're still. Patience. Breathe in. Release to a forward fold as you exhale. And then slowly roll up all the way up to mountain pose. Reach those hands up overhead and take a breath in. And then exhale as you take those elbows out wide and open up your heart for a baby back bend here. Inhale to reach up. Palms touch, take a forward fold down. Halfway lift and step back to that high plank pose again. Let's shift forward. Feel your tiptoes just push you forward. Halfway down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. So really press into the palms, feeling yourself anchor down into the mat, and then float your right leg up away from the mat, lifting with your heel. So just kind of imagine you have a string attached to the back of the heel and dial the toes down towards the mat. And then press in to that left foot. So you feel 3 points of contact on the mat and lifting that right leg up, take a breath in, and then bend the knee, scoop it under, and let's step all the way through low lunge. And it might take a few steps to get there, and that's just fine. And then release that back knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. And a little bit of motion down and up, a little dynamic stretching to just help open up this left hip flexor. Yeah, and then find a spot where you feel pretty strong and energetically draw that front heel towards your back knee and feel that suction cupping, that lifting and engagement through your body. Reach up, take a breath in, and then half splits as you exhale. Push the hips back. You can let your fingertips come down to the mat. Just kind of lift with your breath in and fold a little deeper with that exhale. And then tuck the back toes under. We're going to lift all the way up into high crescent lunge. So pop that back knee up. Little scoop under with the hips so they draw underneath the shoulders. And then take a breath in, reaching up. Hands down to frame that front foot. Exhale. Step back to high plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And then press, root into those hands and float your left foot up away from the mat, leading with the heel. And so as you dial those toes towards the mat, you feel the hips come square to the mat with the shoulders, and your whole body presses down to also lift up. Take one more breath in here, and then scoop that knee under and step it through to a low lunge. When you arrive, let that back knee touch down. Anjaneyasana, reach up. And then again, maybe some dynamic stretching, lowering, lifting, just kind of surfing your way in, feeling your way in. And then settle in. Draw that energy up from the mat. Patient. Feeling powerful right here. And then draw it into half splits. Yeah, so patience really brings power to our lives. It's that ability to pause. Instead of just quickly reacting, to reflect. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And choose our response to our situation. Let's tuck the back toes under, bend this front knee, and rise to high crescent lunge. Pop that back knee up, scoop the hips underneath the shoulders, and just take one breath in here. And then hands come down to frame that front foot. Let's step back to high plank. Once again, shift forward, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Downward facing dog. Breathe out. Let's lift high on the toes and look forward. And step or float to the top of the mat, landing really soft. And then a halfway lift, like a reset of the spine. Release to a forward fold. Rise all the way up to mountain, breathe in. And that baby back bend, exhale. Inhale to reach up. Forward fold it down. Take a halfway lift. Let's step our left leg back, leaving the right leg forward. And right away, rise up to that high crescent lunge. One breath in. And then open up warrior two. Peel your back heel down. And then settle down into this front leg. Feel that knee kind of shift over towards the pinky toe edge. Your hips come down right between the feet, and then open up those arms really long. Taking your gaze forward. This noble posture that represents discipline, strength, determination. Breathe that in and breathe it out. Then flip that front palm. Keep your legs how they are. Reverse your warrior. Just stretch up and back and feel that stretch really begin at the front hip crease, up along your rib cage, through the shoulders, through your fingertips. And then triangle pose. We'll straighten the legs, push the hips back, and then just hinge so that right arm comes down and your left arm comes up. And we feel ourselves pulled in opposition here. And we can breathe. Strength, patience, into our bodies as we root into the feet and we hold. And let's take all of that heat and rise up to star pose. Bring your hands up. Aim all 10 toes forward. Open up your fingertips so even our forearms activate. Take one breath in. Palms touch and a wide leg forward fold right here. Take it down. Halfway lift. And then pivot to the top of the mat for a low lunge. Let's step forward into a forward fold here. And then that halfway lift to reset. Release to a forward fold. Rise all the way up to mountain. Big breath in. Baby back bend. Sigh it out. Inhale to reach up. Forward fold it down. Take a halfway lift, and this time that right leg steps back to a low lunge, leaving your left leg forward. And then inhale, high crescent lunge, reaching up. Warrior two as you exhale. And then maybe just close your eyes and just feel your body in space, those hips coming down between your feet. Pinky toe edge of your right foot, blading down into the mat to secure you there. And yet you lower into that left knee, feeling it over your ankle and then drawing it towards that pinky toe edge as well. And draw your low ribs down and in. And yet your shoulders broaden. Your chest opens with your breath in. And you root down with your breath out. Flip that front palm, reverse your warrior. Now as you reverse your warrior, without even being able to see that front knee, can you feel if it shifted inward at all? And if so, can you just drop back over towards that pinky toe edge? And feel the stretch. Triangle pose, push the hips back, reach down with your left hand and reach up with your right. And then for a moment, just look down at your left hand as if we're just looking down and honoring our past. So whatever we may even perceive as the bad stuff, just honoring it, knowing that it likely played a role to bring us to our mat today. And then we look up at that right hand, our future, and reach up just a little bit more because we know where we're going. And then let's rise up to star. Take a breath and point all 10 toes forward. And then take all that energy in a forward fold, like you're bringing it in to yourself. Halfway lift. Pivot to the top of the mat, low lunge. And then let's step back to high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. And let's flow all of this one time to be patient with our bodies, movement, breath, and to just get lost in the moment. Bring that right leg up, breathe in. Scoop it under and bring it all the way through low lunge. And let's rise up, high crescent lunge, inhale. Open up warrior two as you breathe out. Reverse your warrior, inhale. Triangle pose, exhale. Rise up to star, shine so bright here. And a big forward fold down. Halfway lift. Pivot to the top of the mat, low lunge. Step back to high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Final time through, the left leg lifts, three-legged dog. And then bring it all the way through, low lunge. Rise up, steady as you go, high crescent lunge. Open up warrior two, exhale. Reverse your warrior, breathe in. Triangle pose, exhale. Rise up to star, shining bright with full radiance, and then take all of that to a wide leg forward fold. Halfway lift. Pivot to the top of the mat, low lunge. Step back to high plank. Let's take a final vinyasa here. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. And as you exhale, slowly lower those knees all the way down to the mat. Child's pose. Press your hips back. Letting your forehead come to rest. Take a breath in, sneak those fingers away from the hips. And then exhale, let those elbows melt into your mat. Coming back to the place where we began. I think maybe the only comparison that's really, really good is just comparing where we started to where we are now. Slowly start to lift our chest and come to a seated posture. On these journeys, sometimes we find we're hoping we'll go a little bit faster, remembering that it takes patience. Remembering that today we're so much further than the day we began, even with just the decision to begin. I am patient with the process while remaining focused. Let's seal this practice reaching up overhead, and then bring the hands to heart center. And for my heart to yours, connected in this way, namaste.